Hello, today I am going to be talking about how Flipgrid and Screencast can be an important tool to use for teachers and students alike. Um, Teachers should be integrating Flipgrid into their classroom and their curriculum because it allows students to say what's on their mind. This is a great tool for those that have a tough time getting their thoughts from their mind to the piece of paper. I know that I have a lot of students that um, that know exactly what they want to say and they can say it out loud to me, but I put the piece of paper in front of them or a computer in front of them and it's gone. So Flipgrid allows them in short spurts to sort of gather their thoughts. It also is a great tool for like discussion boards. I plan to incorporate this instead of my discussion board or in addition to my discussion board, I guess. So I'll be using my discussion board still. But I really liked how um, we had our discussion. We talked about whatever it was that the assignment was, and then we responded to our classmates. It I noticed that the caliber of responses was a lot better than in other classes, and maybe it was because we attached a name to a face and a face to what was being said. And so it wasn't like, I really liked what you just said, which is something that I work really hard to get my juniors away from. But I noticed in online classes that a lot of responses include, I really liked what you just said. Yeah, me too. And so Flipgrid sort of held us more accountable than a discussion board. I really like screencasts. I think that screencasts are an important part, or should be an important part of the curriculum. I plan to use them, and of course, this isn't the only way, but I plan to use them, and I've started using them um, with like bigger concepts that we spend a whole day teaching. Things like how to write a précis, or for my freshmen, how to write a CEA paragraph. And if a student misses that big lesson, they could be lost for really the rest of the term. And so what I've started doing is slowly putting screencasts together to teach my students um, how to do major components of assignments, so that when students are absent, I can send them to our Canvas page and say, check out that screencast. Um, and then, come and see me during tutorial, and we'll talk about any questions that you have. It's also another great place for me to send students who just didn't get it the first time, because I know that I'm not using the same exact words when I'm screencasting later in the day as when I taught it to them earlier that day or a few days before. So oftentimes I know that I say it a little differently, and sometimes the kids just need to hear it a second time. Um, and the words just need to be a little bit different, and then all of a sudden it clicks. So I use this with my freshmen, and it really helped me a lot. Um, and so I'm starting to use it with my juniors, and I don't know how it's going yet, but it seems to be okay. Um, like I said, there are a ton of places where Flipgrid and Screencast can be utilized in the classroom and in curriculum. The two that I've spoken about, discussion boards for Flipgrid, and um, additional help for screencasts, are just a few. I know that I've heard of Flipgrid being used as a tool for language classes. And this is part of your test. You're going to Flipgrid the response to these questions. And so that then I, as the teacher, can come back later and take a look or take a listen. And then I know that you're pronouncing things correctly and not saying words that aren't actually words. I think that that's a great idea. I don't teach a language class. I teach English, but Not something where I'm checking to see that their pronunciation of words is correct. But I also think it's a great tool to use in order to like debrief an assignment. Okay, we've talked about this assignment. It's your culminating assignment. Now go to Flipgrid and um, basically tell me what the assignment is. It's a quick way for me to figure out who gets it and who doesn't. Um, Screencasts, I think, are great. I think they're a great tool for like additional help. Like I said, I have used them with my freshmen, teaching them like the larger concepts that the whole class is based around. Kids are sick, kids are absent, kids sometimes don't pay attention, and it's really great when um, I can send them to our class page and say, hey, go check that out, and then come and talk to me tomorrow. We'll talk about, write down questions, and we'll talk about anything that you still don't understand. Um, it's proven to be a pretty good tool for that. And I've noticed that I have a lot less absences because kids don't want to listen to me at nighttime, which I'm not offended by. I don't want to listen to me either. So they want to listen to me once a day. So they pay attention in class and ask me pertinent questions in class rather than having to go back home and watch that screencast. Not that, of course, screencasts are for punishment, because they're not. But it also helps me because I have 90 students, and if one is absent, I can't stop the class to go back and reteach. But I can answer important questions. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm done.